Did you know that at minus 70 degrees Celsius, it only takes just 5 minutes for human skin to start dying? But in Yakutia, that kind of cold is normal. Here, regular winter temperatures stay below minus 50, and sometimes they plunge all the way to minus 70. At that point, car batteries freeze to solid. Human breath turns to ice before it even leaves your lips, and yet almost 900,000 people live here. Every single day, they go to work, send their kids to school. They build their lives in a place where the air alone is deadly and can kill you in few minutes. So how did the Yakutia people survive in such harsh circumstances? And most importantly, what does daily life look like in Yakutia when survival itself becomes your routine? That's what we're about to find out in this video. Yakutia, also known as the Sakha Republic, sits in the far east of Russia. It's massive, about 3 million square kilometers, which makes it almost the size of India. But instead of over 1 billion people, less than 1 million live here. Most of them are spread across small towns and villages. The biggest city is Yakutsk, the capital, home to about 400,000 people. Another populated area is Oymyakon, the world's coldest inhabited village. Around 2,000 people live there, right at what's called the Pole of Cold. This is where some of the most dangerous temperatures on Earth have ever been recorded. Back in 1933, Oymyakon hit minus 67.7 degrees Celsius. That's so cold, it's almost double the temperature of 35 degrees Celsius at which hypothermia sets in. In other words, humans can freeze to death. Here, survival isn't a one-time challenge, it's daily life. The cold decides how people live, what they eat, and how kids grow up. Even school here runs by the thermometer. Grades 8 and below stay home when it drops below minus 48 degrees Celsius, and when the temperature hits minus 55 degrees Celsius, all children have to stay home. For Yakutian kids, it's normal to wake up in the morning and find out that school is cancelled simply because the air outside is too dangerously cold. Most mornings start the same way. You wake up and make the house warm. In villages, people feed the wood stove first thing. The fire stays on for about 9 months, so the rooms do not freeze. In bigger towns, central heating does the job, and it stays on day and night. You keep the heat steady first. Without heat, nothing else works. Most houses in Yakutia stand on stilts. The ground stays frozen year-round, so builders lift homes above the permafrost to keep the heat from melting it. Entrances fight the cold too. Many buildings use 2 or even 3 heavy doors. You close one before you open the next, so the heat does not escape. Once the fire is steady, you deal with water. This is not as simple as turning a tap. Taps do not run in such cold as pipes would freeze solid, so families prepare ahead of time. In November, when the river ice is strong, locals cut large blocks and stack them outside like firewood. That ice is the water supply. Each day you bring a block in, melt it, and use it for tea, cooking, and washing. It takes time and effort, but there is no other option. Now comes the hardest part of the morning, how to step outside. You do not rush that either. You dress layer by layer so the cold has no way in. Camel wool socks are often for warmth, knee pads to protect your joints, padded trousers, a light jacket under a heavy down jacket. These are just normal things. And when it drops below minus 45, many people wear 2 jackets, thick mittens, often with Yakut patterns, fur boots that do not freeze stiff after a few minutes, a scarf over your mouth and nose so you can breathe without pain. You leave only your eyes open. Getting dressed for a short errand can take 5 to 10 minutes, and you check every gap twice. Now coats here are costly too. Local fur brands sell coats that start around $6,000 and can reach $17,000 for sable. Not everyone can buy one, so people save for years. Even with a fur coat, you still wear layers under it. That is how you keep the cold out. And after all that preparation and so much, you still can't just go outside and wander around. Before you go, you think about where you can warm up. In Yakutia, if you own a car, you have to keep the engine running all day long, even if you aren't driving, because if you switch it off in deep cold, it may not start again. Many people park in heated garages at night. Outside, you see cars idling with no one inside. Apart from that, locals also use thick covers and engine blankets to hold the heat under the hood. Some even add a second film over the windshield so it will not crack or fog. When the cold bites hard, people set small fires under the engine area to thaw the metal before the vehicle could be started. It looks extreme, but here it is a normal trick to keep the car alive. Winter also changes the map itself. Rivers turn into roads. When the Lena freezes, an ice road opens and connects people who, in summer, need a ferry. In spring and autumn, when the ice is unsafe and the ferry is not running, Yakutsk stays cut off. You can only fly. That is how travel works here. Fly, ferry, or drive on ice, depending on the season. Long trips are serious business. The Kolyma Highway runs through this land. Trucks roll coal and supplies over huge distances. Engines stay on during stops, even at night. If a truck shuts down at -50, it can freeze solid. Even with the engine running, the wheels can harden and refuse to move if the cold gets deep enough. The nearest petrol to Oymyakon sits about 25 miles away, near Tomtor. Below -50, fuel use can double because the engine fights the cold. A breakdown out there is not just a delay. For someone without the right gear, it can turn into real danger. Most people avoid those risks and use public transport. Heated buses are a lifeline. You plan your walk to the stop, wait a few minutes, then climb into a moving sauna. On a short walk, the cold will find any gap in your clothes. Your nose tingles, your face burns. In about 10 to 15 minutes outside, your body tells you to get inside now. That is why routes feel like a chain of warm rooms. Bus, shop, office, home. Malls and cinemas even set up wardrobes so you can leave your heavy coat and move freely inside. Walking a short distance feels like a small expedition. You check the wind, pull your scarf tight, and go. If the bus is late, you step into the nearest cafe or a mall to warm up, then try again. People pace their day around that warm, cold rhythm. Technology here also gives up before people do. Phones drain fast and shut off, so you keep them close to your body and only take them out when you have to. Cameras die even faster. To film outside, locals bring a few cameras and rotate them. Each one works for about 10 minutes, then goes into a warm bag while the next one comes out. If you skip that step, the camera stops, the lens fogs, and the battery is gone. Even a quick clip for social media can take a lot of struggle and time in switching gear, warming it, and trying again. Cars have their own set of tricks. Some owners install timers and heating systems that wake the engine on a schedule. Others cover the grille, wrap the battery, or slide insulation around hoses. Exhaust pipes can freeze. People slide a metal tube into the outlet so heat collects and ice will not clog the line. When the cold sinks past -45, every small fix matters. Not everyone drives. Many people walk or take a bus by choice. A car is expensive to keep alive here. It needs care, fuel, a place to stay warm, and hands ready to fix small problems every day. Even a short stop at the shop can become a risk if the engine cools too much. And that's why many people do not own their own vehicle, even they could afford it. Buses, on the other hand, are considered safe. They are warm, cheap, and steady. And after all that moving from one warm stop to the next, your body needs fuel. In Yakutia, food has to do more than taste good. It has to keep you warm and steady through long hours in the cold. People lean on a high-fat, high-protein diet. Meat and fish sit at the center of the table. Frozen stroganina is a staple. Thin slices of raw frozen fish cut right off the block and eaten ice cold. It may sound odd to most of you guys, but it gives fast energy and fits the climate. Mornings in here start heavy. Pancakes, thick cream, and other fatty dishes give kids a warm start before they face the day. Dairy shows up a lot. In towns and villages, you see cream, milk, and yogurt on the table because they hold you over in the cold. Out in the countryside, food often comes from your own work. Hunting and fishing matter. Cattle and horse breeding are part of daily life. People raise cows for meat and milk. They keep hardy horses that handle the cold and help with work. When the river opens for ice fishing, locals head out with fishing gears to catch fish. And the moment you pull a fish from the hole, it shock freezes in seconds. You can bring it home rock hard, slice it thin for stroganina, boil it, or fry it. Nothing spoils at -50. Vegetables are not the main part of the diet. In many places they are rare and costly, so people rely more on meat, fish, and dairy. Vegetables here are treated like a bonus and more of like a luxury. There is a lighter side to all this too. Kids still love ice cream. Even at -40, they stop by a shop after school, grab a cone, and laugh at the idea that it could melt. It will not out there. Tea ties it all together. You melt a chunk of river ice, bring the pot to a boil, and pour hot cups all day. After a walk, after a bus ride, after a chore outside, you warm your hands on the mug and your chest with the heat. So the food here is simple and strong. Meat, fish, dairy, hot tea. It is fuel first, flavor second, and it fits the place. In Yakutia, what you eat is part of how you survive.
Frostbite and hypothermia
are everyday risks. Water and toilets add stress. In older areas, the toilet sits in a small hut outside. You go in, get it done, and get back in the house, even when it is -50. Apart from that, not everyone has a safe place to warm up. The city opens shelters in winter, but some people do not use them. The risk is real. Each year there are tragic cases, often tied to alcohol, when someone falls asleep outside and does not wake up. New Year can be the worst time for this. The season also weighs on the mind. Winters are long and dark, with very little daylight. People keep moving, meet friends indoors, and try to stay active, but the strain is there.
All of this survival has a purpose.
People still have to work, earn, and build a life. Yakutia is rich in the ground. Diamonds, gold, oil, and gas drive the economy. Diamond mining is the big one. Local companies like Alrosa, Yakutagol, and Yakutsk-Energo employ many people. Planes keep the region connected too, with Yakutia Airlines flying people in and out when roads and rivers are closed. In towns, you see another side of life. A growing film scene people call Saka Wood makes movies in this climate and still finds an audience. Local media here is also strong. NVK Saka broadcasts in Yakut, Russian, and other languages. Museums, theaters, and art are also a big thing here. Villagers work with what the land gives. Woodcutting, cattle, and horses are part of daily life. People fish and hunt in season. Crafts matter too. Families pass down skills like knife making and jewelry. Because Yakutia is a diamond region, local jewelry brands are common. People find beauty in hard days too. A clear sky after a deep freeze, the sound of a jaw harp at a festival, a hot cup of tea after a long walk. The attitude matters. Many here say there is no bad weather, only how you meet it. Yakutia may be the coldest inhabited land on Earth. It is also a place of strong culture and steady pride. People speak their language, keep their festivals, make music, and pass down crafts. They wake up, heat the house, melt ice for water, dress with care, and step into a world that tests them every day. Here, life does not pause for the cold. It adapts, it endures, it thrives. This is Yakutia, a place where the air may try to stop you and people move anyway.